to the first ever RF Customs custom showcase, a new series thing that I'm going to be doing just to show off the customs that I have in the collection that I've been working on for Shattered Timelines. So this is basically well, I put a poll on the Instagram and the YouTube and the Discord server asking which custom you'd want to see first, and the winner was Mr. Shattered Glass Megatron, right in front of you. So, to talk about the figure itself, as you can probably tell by the base figure is Transformers Prime, RID, Ultra Magnus. Not much has really changed in the figure itself. There's no real major modifications, but the figure itself is completely, well, I say completely repainted, mostly repainted. This was my second custom, and at that time, as you can probably see by over here in the corner, and like bits of the original figure are still visible in little hairline spots, because I was a lazy bugger, and I also didn't know exactly what I was doing. When we get to more recent customs, you'll actually see that I'm not as impatient with them. So before he appears in Shattered Timeline, he will be fully fixed up so that you don't really see much of the blue anymore. But anyway, to talk about the figure itself and where the inspiration came from. Now, my original plan was to have the Shattered Timelines Megatron be the Generations Shattered Glass Megatron, where he's the Siege Megatron mold, and he's in the predominantly white color scheme. Now, a couple issues with that. Number one, I can't find him for a decent price at all. He is minimum $300 on the aftermarket, and I never got one. I had the chance to get one, and I didn't. This was way before Shattered Timeline was even a glimpse in my mind. I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll get him when he comes back, when I see him next. And then he was sold out after that. So big mistake. Should have gotten him at the time, and now I'm paying for it. Now, the other issue with Shattered Timelines is that the predominant protagonist is not Excellion, much to everyone's dismay. The second, well, I mean, Excellion is the main predominant protagonist, but the second predominant protagonist is Treadshot, Shattered Glass Treadshot to be specific, and he has the 86 Jazz mold in Shattered Timeline predominantly. So he will have a brief cameo in Shattered Timelines Part 1, and then from there he will be a more predominant character. More understanding on that will come as the project arises in actual media. But until then, basically the other issue with that is that I had him Treadshot with an Earth mold, but it made no sense having a Cybertronian mold Megatron if Treadshot was also had an Earth mode. So it gave me an idea, finding a RID Magnus on Facebook Marketplace for a pretty good price. I think it was like $100 altogether, and I was just like, yep, cool. And this became the baseline. So I based him off of the Shattered Glass Broken Mirror. So you could probably see the resemblance of him, but with my own minor touches. If you've seen Shattered Glass, if you've seen Broken Mirror on Crosso's Productions channel, you'll know that he had a different canon to this, and I'll explain how and why the canon is what it is. But basically, the color scheme is much the same, with a couple little details that I've made for myself just to differentiate them from each other. I didn't want to make it an exact replica. And fun fact, the color on his legs is a complete freak accident. That like really dull gray, I was trying to make it more black, or like a more blue color, like more of a dark blue, and then it accidentally turned into a gray, and then I looked at it for a decent time, and I was like, you know what? I actually don't mind it for him. So I ended up with a more grey in the legs, which I actually think looks much better with the rest of his figure. So we went with the grey instead. But yeah, basically just meant to mirror the original Magnus. Oh, fuck. Meant to mirror Megatron, Shatterglass Megatron originals as much as possible with the predominantly white color scheme, and then the accents of the yellow and the green, and then also the red as well. Now, the cannon, if you look at it carefully, comes from is the MechTech gun from Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon. What I've done is I've actually made it similar color. I've given it the similar color palette to what the cannon looks like on the Generation Selects Shatterglass Megatron. While the paint has chipped away over time, I need to get my hands on varnish and I need to fix them up. So everybody's going to be going through a little bit, well, him and Treadshot mostly are going to be going through major fix-ups before filming, just make him look all pretty and ready to go. He is going to sit on the shelf for a while because he's only in part 2 from there on out, so I won't need him until then. So he can sit on the shelf for now and just look like this, because I'm not exactly upset with it. Like, it does still look pretty good. And I'm quite happy with how it turned out. For the fact that I am a beginner when it comes down to customizations, I have no prior knowledge to it other than seeing customs in other people's videos. That is it. However, I like I said, I'm very proud of how it works. Now, we'll move on to the vehicle mode because there's not really much of a change, but I want to show you what it looks like in video mode. In vehicle mode. So let's move on to vehicle mode.
Later.
Come on.
2,000 years later.
There we go. Now we have Megatron in his truck mode. This is going to be his truck mode during the campaign of Shattered Timelines. It is very much the exact same as the what's the word, RAD Ultra Magnus one. There isn't much of a change, and you can really see the blue here. So before anything happens before filming, he will get touched up so those blues won't be so prominent anymore, and I'll also fix up some of the paint, like the paint pieces. Some of it's chipped away because it's Transformers, moving parts. So I'm going to get my hands on varnish and try and make it just a little bit nicer and a little bit neater. But you know what, all in all, I actually love how it ends up looking. It's really nice. The truck is actually, it's very nice, and the figure itself lends itself well to being animated. And yes, if you're wondering, you can put the MechTech gun up in the giant thing, and Megatron can do some weird thing when he's fighting Autobots, when he's fighting Shatterglass Autobots, and just blast the crap out of them from his truck mode. So, but that's really all there is for the truck mode. It is the same as Magnus from RAD.
Tomorrow.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching. If you go over to the Instagram page, by the time this is live, there will be some photos up of him and giving a bit of pretty much an Instagram version of what you've seen here. But be sure to check out this video, and also go to the Instagram and vote for what custom you want next. I will be putting up a poll very soon once this video has gone live and I've given people a chance to look at it. I will look into making another one. So without further ado, please like, and if you really want to see Shattered Timeline, I'd recommend subscribing so you can get the update notification when things for Shattered Timelines come out. But anyway, that's everything I've got for you, so bye.